searched high and low for the perfect video that is the most relatable to me when it comes to cleaning, organizing, decluttering my girls' room, and so far I have not found that video, so I decided to make one for myself. So if you are struggling in a small space with your kids' room, I hope this video can help you in some way. There's lots of tips packed full throughout the video. Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. Today is a good day to have a good day, and I always love that quote. I always tell that to myself. Today is a good day to have a good day. So my girls' room is absolutely trashed. This is a huge mess, mostly from after Christmas. I had their room mostly manageable. There was a home for everything before Christmas. Y'all, they get so much stuff because we have multiple Christmases. We have my side of the family, my husband's side of the family, and then also my dad's side of the family. So we have 3 different Christmases that we go to. My kids get so many presents along with what Santa Claus brings them and what me and my husband get them for Christmas. So they just get so much stuff, and I always know that before Christmas I'm gonna need to declutter because they are about to get so much stuff, girl, that I don't even know what to do with. So every year before Christmas I'm always trying to declutter, and it gives me a little bit of anxiety because I know that there is so much to do and that we are about to get our house jam-packed full with so much stuff that I have no space for. Y'all, a bedroom can get so messy super fast, especially if you've got more than one kid in the bedroom. So my girls try really hard to try to keep their room cleaned up, but it's gotten to the point where they're like, Mama, we don't even know how to organize this. We don't know how. So I had to dedicate a day where I had the time to come in here and just full blown go through everything. And at the end of this video, we're going to end up with 6 trash bags that I have decluttered from this one bedroom. There was 4 donations and 2 bags of trash. Now, anybody that's got 1 kid, 2 kids, they both have their own rooms, you've got a lot of storage in your house, don't even judge a girl over here because we don't have coat closets, linen closets, we don't have walk-in closets in my kids' rooms. They're so tiny. We don't have very much storage at all in our small house. So I try to be creative with the storage that I have, the space that I have, and the under the bed storage was just not specifically working for my girls. We had totes under the bed where they had some toys and things under there. Now my 7-year-old does still have totes under her bed. She's got a tote full of Barbies and a tote full of her flower garden. It's like a flower garden puzzle. And then my teenager had totes under her bed that were just miscellaneous at this point, and they just were not working. So we're gonna do away with her totes under her bed and just use those for just like maybe seasonal clothing. Like all of her summer clothes can be stored under the bed to save space in the closet instead of storing her things under the bed because they were just forgotten about and just no longer working or serving a purpose. So I think the biggest mess that we had going on was everything that my teenager got for Christmas piled up on her desk. As you can see, we don't have bookshelves. We don't have a bunch of floor space to even add bookshelves. I do have shelves up on the wall for my kids to use however they like. And my idea was for them to like maybe put their lotions and perfumes up here, but my teenager does not really like lotions and perfume scents very much unless they have a very faint scent. She's very sensitive to smells. Y'all, I was literally mad at this point, not at my girls, but just at the mess. I was so overwhelmed, and I don't understand how it even gets this bad. It makes me want to ask family to not get my kids Christmas presents at this point. It makes me not want to buy a bunch of Christmas presents at this point. It was ridiculously overwhelming, and I've been putting it off because every time I open the door to come in here, I just take a deep breath and I close the door, and it's like it takes my breath away because of how messy it is. But if I'm feeling that way, y'all, then you know my girls are feeling that way about their own room, and I don't want them to come into their room and feel overwhelmed or, you know, anxiety ridden or go to school in a bad mood because their mind is unclear. So I needed to come in here and push through, and I got it all done in a day, y'all. It took me about 7 hours to complete this room. I had asked my girls to go through their stuffed animals and let me know of any that they just don't love anymore or some that they can part with, because my teenager's stuffed animal hammock over the bed looked like it was about to just rip out of the wall. It was so full with way too many stuffed animals. So I'm going to pull these totes out of the closet, and these are actually storage totes I was using to store my kids' sentimental items, which I decided to use a smaller bin for them and store those in my closet because I feel like only half of the bins were being used and they were just taking up so much space. So I'm repurposing all of these bins for my teenager. There ended up being several totes in the closet full of my teenager's things that I have organized. I didn't want to just throw her things all in the totes and she don't know where anything is. So I was organizing her beads. And there's one tote that I am specifying for all of her arts and crafts. She loves to make masks, so she has lots of craft supplies to do masks and beads and all the things. So I wanted to make sure she had a complete tote to store all of her arts and crafts. There is another tote that I put like all of her pictures. It's like a sentimental tote. And then there's another tote that's got like her Xbox controllers and things to go with her gaming stuff. And then I've got two long totes I'm going to pull out from underneath the bed later. And we are going to put like things that she's made in one, and then she's got some cardboard that she uses for arts and crafts that I'll put in the other. And as far as her desk, I have been looking into getting her another one. This is one that my husband got. It's a little pop-out desk that he got for the living room before he got his desk in the bedroom, and he would literally pull this pop-out desk out in the living room to put his computer and stuff on, and when he was done he had to put it all back up. So it works out so much better that he's got that desk in our bedroom now. And my teenager Addie, she had a vanity like my 7-year-old has, and I was like, would you rather have a vanity or a desk? And she was like, a desk. So I gave her that desk temporarily until I can get her a nicer one that's got drawers for storage. We recently did a bunk beds in my boys' room. Now that my toddler is 3, I feel like he can handle the bunk beds and understand that he's not allowed to climb up on the top bunk, which he's been doing so good with so far. And a lot of you guys have said, well, now the girls are going to want bunk beds and we should do bunk beds for the girls. So I have talked to my girls, and my teenager does not want bunk beds. We have had them before, and we actually had them when my youngest daughter was about 2 to 3 years old, and we had the bunk beds that had the ladder, not the stairs, so I could take the ladder and I unhooked it and put it on the top bunk all day while my oldest was at school so that my toddler did not climb up there. So if you are struggling for space and you're afraid that your toddler is going to get up there on that top bunk and get hurt, get a bunk bed that's got the ladder instead of the stairs, and just keep the ladder on top of the bunk bed where your toddler cannot climb up there. And that's what we did, and that's what worked for us. And whenever I was pregnant with my youngest, my 2 middle kids are 18 months apart, and they were still pretty young, and they were sharing a room, so I got them a low bunk bed. That's where the bottom bunk is literally on the floor, so the top bunk is not too high, and that's another solution for space saving. But my girls just do not want bunk beds. They love their full-size beds in their own sides of the room. On the right side, I have just my teenager side of the room. It's her dresser, her desk, her bed, her things. Over on the left side of the room, I've got my 7-year-old's bed and her makeup vanity, and her stuff is over there, and it just works out for my girls to have it this way. They just like their room like that. But I so badly want to do a twin over full bunk bed where my teen can have the full bunk on the bottom and my youngest can have the twin bed on top, and get one that's got like the drawers in the stairs, and then the other side is like a desk. But they were just really against it, so we are keeping the full-size beds in the girls' room. And I figured while I was in here today, I'd be wiping down their baseboards, so behind the desk, behind the dresser, and I also pulled the beds out a little bit to get back there. And I don't record me cleaning the baseboards behind the bed because it was really hard to film back there, but we got those baseboards tackled today, and it just makes the room overall feel way more fresher when you know those baseboards are clean, along with the floors and everything is organized. At the end of the day, this room looked so good, and I just loved to come in here and just stare, just look around at everything I did and just how much better the room looked. Being creative in small spaces is key. I always come up with creative ways to store things, and although it may not look extremely aesthetic, we don't have the space to be aesthetic. And that's just the reality of a lot of people, is you don't have the space to be aesthetic, but you don't want to get rid of all your things to be aesthetic either. So my teenager is unwilling to get rid of all of her things just so that her room looks a certain way, to look the aesthetic way. So I do try to just make it look clean and tidy and organized in the best way that I can. And we ran out of room in the dresser, so that's why I repurposed that little gray storage organizer over there beside the dresser to store her underwear and socks and things like that. So we have a little bit more storage beside the dresser. So we're just going to slide that bed out and clean the baseboards and over here beside the bed, and then push that back. And I just pile everything on top of the bed. Everything that we're keeping, all of the clothes, are just on the bed so that it's out of the way, and everything that's on the floor is things that I'm going to put in totes or declutter. So in our tiny little closet in the girls' room, to the left is my 7-year-old side of the closet, and to the right is my teenager's side of the closet. She's 14, and I mostly gave this closet to my teenager because she does have more stuff than my 7-year-old, and we're going to be replacing my 7-year-old's dresser that does have another drawer, and we're going to use that top drawer for extra storage for her. So for the closet is where I put all of my teenager's Lego sets and her storage totes, and I had those gray bin organizers. There was 2 for my 7-year-old, 2 for my teenager, but honestly they were just storing pointless stuff, pointless clutter, and I could relocate things or declutter things to make room for more purposeful things. So I decided to mostly give the closet to my teenager. So the left side of the closet is where I hang my 7-year-old's clothes, and I've got these command hooks that I'm creative with, and this is how I store her dress up clothes. So all of her little princess dresses get stored on the closet door on her command hooks. She can also hang little purses here or whatever she wants to hang on them. And I have a basket in the closet for all of her toys, which I'm going to let her go through her toys and figure out what she doesn't really want anymore, if she wants to keep everything, which she did end up keeping everything that was in this basket, which it is a little bit overflowing, and I'm trying to look into some kind of storage organizer for her toys to store in the closet, something that will fit in this tiny little space other than this basket, something that's bigger. But I decided to do away with the 4 cube organizers I had up there and just utilize that space for the totes, and that way I can stack them up higher and we can utilize the space a lot better. But my 7-year-old also has this vanity that has a drawer, so she can store some things over here. This is where she keeps all of her little jewelry and her little makeup, and I wiped the vanity down, but that's like makeup that just won't come off of the vanity. So I may get some contact paper on top of it or just leave it as is. But she absolutely loves this little vanity, and it's something that I wanted as a little girl and I never had. So I am loving that she has this little vanity. So moving over here to the storage mirror, this thing is super awesome, you guys. It's from Amazon. It holds so much. It holds your sunglasses, your claw clips, your bracelets, hair bows, and there was some broken hair clips in here that I went ahead and threw away, necklaces, anything, your rings. It's got little tiny shelves in it where you can put lotions and lip glosses. So I decided to move all of my teenager's makeup and her hair accessories, all of her jewelry and her deodorant, her lotion in the mirror. Literally the most ultimate storage solution when it comes to all of your things in a small space. And I'll try to find it and link it. Always check the description box because I try to link things down there, and I also have my Amazon storefront linked for you guys if you want to go and shop any of my links. This video is definitely for maximalist kids and more minimal moms, or even just moms that are maximalist will probably feel overwhelmed in this room. But just looking at this room made my back hurt before I even started. It was so bad, you guys. But I always love to use little baskets. I feel like it organizes clutter and makes clutter look better. You can put whatever you want inside of a basket to hide it, and it will make the space look nice. Y'all, I thought that this dresser was darling. I found it on Amazon and it was so cute in the space, and Arabella loved it. But unfortunately, it was just one of those cheap old dressers that I got off of Amazon for about $180, and it did not last. The tracks broke and they were unfixable, so that dresser is pretty much trash. I found this gem off of Facebook Marketplace for $100. I found this dresser through a woman that gets furniture, fixes it up, sells it in her store for her dog rescue. So the money went to a good purpose, but she found this solid wood dresser. She painted it this really pretty cream gray. She put wicker knobs on it, and she put contact paper on the inside of it, and it is a gorgeous, stunning dresser. And I told her that if she finds a long dresser and paints it to match, that I will buy that too, so that we can replace my teenager's dresser and the girls will have matching dressers. But I love this dresser. I think it is so cute. The drawers were so spacious, and there's an additional drawer than the other dresser had. The other dresser was 3 drawers. This one is 4. So on the very bottom is where I'm going to put all of the socks and the shoes. And an organizing tip I can give you guys is if you keep your kids' shoes in a drawer, to put their socks in there with it, or wherever you are storing your kids' shoes, to just go ahead and put an organizer or their socks in there with it, so they can just grab their socks while they're grabbing their shoes, and it just saves a little bit of time. But I just put her socks in there with her shoes, and her shoes are just all around the house right now, so that drawer is not full. I've got to go around the house and just collect her shoes and bring them back and put them in her bottom drawer. In the very top drawer, I'm just using that to store like her swimsuits and extra books and her headphones and just items that really don't have a place. We'll just throw those in the top, and I'm going to try to resist not throwing in anything that we're not currently using or anything that we can declutter, and try to keep it simple where we can see everything and we know what is in the drawer. The second drawer down is her pajamas and underwear, and the third drawer down is the left side is her shorts and the right side is her pants. And I kept it the same on top because I just love the way that it looks. I love that little wicker lamp. And then I found those bookends at the Goodwill, and I think they are darling to store her books. She does have more books in her top drawer, but for the most part, I just stored some really cute smaller books on top of the dresser, and it looks so adorable. Look, y'all, sometimes it just gets to a point where you're like, enough is enough. I've come in here, I was nice, I said clean your room, try to organize your room, go through your things, declutter things, tell me what you don't want anymore. And my kids are complete maximalists, and they want to keep everything. They do not ever want to declutter anything. Even when the clothes don't fit anymore, they still want to keep them. And I'm like, girl, you have got to learn how to declutter, or you're going to grow up being a hoarder. And I feel like in some way it's my job as their mother to teach them to declutter, to get them in that habit of getting rid of things when they're no longer using it or wearing it. So I took it into my own hands, and today was the day where I just went through everything and decluttered what I could. And there were some items that I took into my bedroom and laid them out on my bed. When the girls got home, I asked them to go through those things that were on my bed and tell me the ones that they don't want, and the ones that they do want they can take back into their room. And they did a really good job with telling me the things that they didn't really care about anymore, and there was a couple things that they did take back. But I didn't want to just go through their stuff and get rid of all of their things without asking if it's something that I wasn't sure about. But good riddance to all of the stuff we were able to get rid of. For some reason, my girls had so many blankets. There were so many clothes that were just too small, or I've never even seen them wear them. And I also have these dragons that my teenager has that she loves, that I wanted to make room for on top of the closet shelf, because they were stored under the bed in totes and they were just kind of out of sight, out of mind. She forgot about them. But this black dragon here has those little purple chips that go in its mouth, and they actually shoot out of its mouth. And then she has this orange dragon that roars. The black dragon lights up purple, and this orange dragon lights up and makes sounds, and it has this little controller. It like breathes fire, or not fire, it breathes like smoke out of its mouth. But anyways, they're cool little dragons that she loves, and she's had those for years. And now that the girls' sheets are all fresh and clean, we're going to go ahead and get their beds put back together. And I do have this sped up so fast, like hyperlapse, because it took me a million years to get their beds put back together. We can finally see the floors again. It looks so good in here. The girls were so appreciative and they really loved their room. I told them that now when they clean up, everything has a home and they know where everything goes. So you can't expect your kid to go in their room and just clean their room up when they don't know how to clean the clutter and clean the mess. You have to go in there and give them spaces, give them homes for their items, and say this goes here, this goes there, and that way when they clean up, they know how. But thank y'all so much for watching today's video. I'm going to show y'all all of the afters. I think it looks amazing. I'm also going to show some night clips of how cozy it looks at night. Thank y'all so much for watching. Subscribe if you are new, and I will see y'all in my next one.